Back to the quest for details. This is the Dirt Journal, and we are back at the Crescent Farm. I do stewardship here and trade for land use, so it's a good way to do stuff. We're going to be running some cows and livestock hopefully out here. I started this morning. This is a before. You zoom in what it looks like. This is the after with the dead brush removed, and then we're taking the loose rock and stacking it down. That was a huge boulder spill I couldn't do anything with. This line will be coming down in front of here, so there'll be no more movement of any of the weeds from the upper slope rocks than this slope. This makes this flat, and then these are other trees that we dropped in years past, so you can see what they look like here. You can't even see them from down below, and that's basically what a whole tree gets eaten into, and then the grass is growing up through it, and that'll be a little dirt ledge there eventually. This road's all clean and shiny. We keep it cropped and clean and every boulder off it, and so far every dead dying tree. And it's a big old fire cut that runs all the way along the whole deal, along with the creek and the asphalt. This one property can be a keystone property for all of the ones that lie on the other side. So you can bridge the gap or you can make your stand. There's this, they got the line more squared up now. Starting to bring down the big boulders down this line of bushes here, so you have bark, big boulder, native bush, cleaned out slope, and a wall that goes up and along. We're laying down the stones, so we got bare roots coming in today, and this is the stones I just culled off the back hill there. This was just bare weeded slope, real barren. We laid logs in here, drip lines. Sorry, I'll turn out of the wind. And got the bulbs, lavenders, all kinds of stuff in here. Poppies, you can see, are going crazy. You see our strike line here. So this will be the border of locked rocks like we did on this side here. That's the idea of it, is run it all in. And make it connected and then pour gravel in between the two. So that'll be a detail with green on either side and trees. This will be big pink crepe myrtles. And then this is all going to flush out later on in the season. So, but yeah, little border rock goes a long ways. Starts cleaning up edges and making you know where you can keep your zones to. This is gravel, this is plants. Borders will help your brain stay sane. And there's that from a ways away, so you can start to see the cleanup and the connection to the upper property and the connection to all this. Coming around with a big wall down in a circle and a willow. Can you see it? And the new trees have arrived. Got myrtles in a row. And there's the bulbs sprouting up. Got the row of rocks on top. If you're putting a row of trees in, try and sight down them and keep an equal distance off of things such as fence lines and rock, and that's the only way you can actually consider them straight if you're in a real natural place and nothing is. All these instantly go on to irrigation lines that we have in the ground already. You can see I just have probably, it's like half a gallon an hour emitter, so 1 gallon an hour, and then another spread out over here. This is a little line with little emitter holes on it, and each one can get tailored out. That one already has its, and I already put a little parameter around here. This little dike acts like a watering basin, you know, hold in the water. And never put in a tree with that, or any plant, without watering it in right there. It's the best bandage that you can do, and that's just an absolute. And you can guarantee yourself so much more success just by adding the water right when you do your transplanting and everything. Keep it wet, keep it wet, keep it wet. Like that much water when you're planting it. Let it just soak in, let it be overkill. Just like a patient when it comes into the emergency room, you just give it IV of water no matter what. Every living thing, water will just do good when it's in some sort of stress. And there's a perfect level. You want these to be planted right at the crown. The crown is the spot that's not the trunk and it's not the roots. Should never be a root exposed. If somebody tells you leave the roots exposed so that you have a place to top dress or mulch, they don't understand how quickly organic matter breaks down. Organic matter you could put down inches and it would break down. So what you want is to keep your roots covered. Never have exposed roots. That means that your soil is stripped down, or that you planted too high and you're in some sort of mound. Never plant in a mound because it will erode away on you and it'll be hard to keep the fight against erosion up. You don't want to plant too deep. You don't want them to be in a hole, otherwise your trunk will get buried and you'll have insect issues and rot issues and everything else. So there's literally a 1/4 inch stripe where you want them to be at that level, and that's where they were sticking out of the ground originally, and they didn't grow roots above that. Above that it's trunk. So the bottom of the trunk, it's not really rocket science, but people have so many different ideas and so many different things that I've seen them do, and it's like plant them at ground level right at the bottom of the trunk with their roots buried, with some sort of good way of getting water right on them and keeping water on them. Uno, dos, tres. We're going to put one more by the power pole just off of it for access. Finish the little rock line. There we are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Row of crepe myrtles running out the driveway. New row of rocks. And sunset coming on. I'll work till after dark here because the light's growing. But you can see it's fading in the canyon. So on we go. I'm trying to get the row of rocks now. come all the way from the bridge real smooth, all the way down and curl around this, which goes down to the lower level and give you the understanding of slope here. So here's what we were working on earlier, the beginning of the back. I'll show you where we go to get rocks here when we're not just bringing them down from above. Here's a little back road that goes behind the house. Oh yeah! All the time, and I think right now we're just going to coal out of this, which is kind of like a huge quarry for us. So I'll pull forward and we'll do some toss down. There's where I've already pulled some out. I like to lay a bunch of dead branches back in any gaps so if there's a erosion in the bare spots, we kind of seal it up. Another morning here, we're getting the details on around the little myrtle trees on the driveway, getting the rock line in, getting the details in. You can see this tying together here with the rock monolith in the back and stuff, whereas before it was just all plain and rehabilitated from the fires. Now we're getting the ornamentation in, the fun stuff. Borders. Okay. So there you go. It took about an hour and 40 minutes completely with every other task involved in gathering the rocks and all kinds of side trips. There you got your little cold stack turret, and that's the detail on it. This was done in past years in a bed established. These plants were put in on log terraces, but we wanted to get that look going on of the nice ranch bordered rock driveway. Keep the beds in the beds, and I wanted to finish it with something strong. This is the pull down spot and the change of levels. So there you have that little sweep around detail. Sorry it's bouncy. I'm trying to fly through this, not spend too much time filming. But put some irises in, that's a good start. And there's our row. Gonna throw some round river rocks around that, and then the final one, and those will be the last details on that. Got all the bulbs and plants and hollyhocks and everything coming in. And there you go. So just wanted to show you that, how many times even I have to switch it around and move it, but you know, it's to lean back a little bit all the way around, so that it's what you do in your cold stacking, so it doesn't fall over. And big rocks underpinning the whole thing. So there she be. It's a new day.